Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I want to start out by thanking Jos and Swissnex for presenting us with the opportunity to tell our story. Considering this is the time after lunch where we might be feeling a little sleepy, as goes by Sleepiz, a little bit of participation from the audience won't hurt. How many of you know someone or are someone who snores? I know that's not the best question to maybe ask in a room full of people, but thank you so much for those of you who raised your hands. We'll get to it in a little bit. I'll start out with a quick introduction about Sleepiz. We were born in Switzerland in 2018 by graduates of ETH Zurich and University of St. Gallen. We're a young medical device organization focusing on respiratory illnesses and impacting the way sleep disorders are currently diagnosed. In just 4 short years, we have grown from 3 co-founders in Switzerland to a large company of 70 people spanning Switzerland, India, Germany, and now the US as well. Our vision at Sleepiz is to improve people's lives by creating the future of healthcare, and the way that we aim to do this is by providing patient-centric disease management into people's homes. Now, we spend 1/3 of our lives sleeping, but let's be honest, we do not pay attention to that part of our life at all. Unfortunately, sleep-related disorders, there's a huge gap present in prevalence, diagnosis, along with treatment. Similar to how Mr. Dilip mentioned, respiratory disorders are the 3rd leading cause of death in the world. This is primarily due to a lack of education, which ends up being underrepresented on the seriousness of these disorders. And the disorder that I will be talking about today is called sleep apnea. This potentially life-threatening disorder is when a person's breathing stops for multiple seconds in the middle of the night because of an airway obstruction. Those who suffer may exhibit symptoms like daytime sleepiness, they might snore at night, they might be not as productive at work, maybe get into car accidents as well. If untreated, they are at high risk of obesity, diabetes, hypertension, potentially death because of a heart attack one day. This has dire economic consequences considering the costs associated with these comorbidities, along with motor vehicle accidents, workplace incidents, just to name a few. The startling fact here is that more than 1 billion people suffer from sleep apnea in the world, nearly 15% of our world's population, yet less than 20% go diagnosed and treated. Now, in order to get tested, one can go to a sleep lab at a clinic. There'll be about 30 wires hooked onto you while you're told to go to bed comfortably. This process essentially takes the entire night where your respiratory or your physiological symptoms and information is gathered. All of this is processed, after which a report is provided to you and your doctor in order to assess your risk of sleep apnea. This entire process is time-consuming, cumbersome, expensive, and not to mention outside of one's natural sleep environment, which can in turn impact the sleep quality at the sleep lab. This is very outdated. Our co-founder, Soumya, couldn't believe his eyes when he first went to a sleep lab, and he really thought there had to be a new age technology that could be applied to diagnose sleep disorders. And that's the thought with which we were founded. At Sleepiz, we are building a first-of-its-kind digital sleep lab that comes to the patient's door. The future of healthcare is one in which traditional healthcare is accessible to all, along with digital health technologies. And what better to do that by moving the point of care to where patients are, in their homes. We're starting this conversation and doing this by addressing sleep apnea, but soon our goal is to also maneuver into other respiratory-related disorders and chronic long-term monitoring too. How are we doing this? Essentially, we have a certified medical device. This medical device is using radar technology in order to measure a person's vital signs, like their heart rate along with their body positioning. We use all of this data, apply our signal processing along with machine learning algorithms in order to make sense of it, provide a report to the doctor along to the patients. In this entire process, the patient can sleep comfortably and conveniently in the comfort of their own home, skip the hassle of having to go to an unknown sleep clinic, all the while get the medical insights required in order to assess their risk of sleep apnea. That too at the same preciseness as which in a sleep lab. Now, in order to avail our solution, anyone can hop onto our website. They can order our device, essentially rent it for a period of 3 days. Simply press the one button that the device has and sleep with it on their bedside table. Throughout the night, Sleepiz is going to be measuring their vital signs, post which we provide the report to the doctor. We also do provide the report to the patient and conduct a phone consultation with them to answer their questions, provide sleep coaching, and or walk them through their report. In order to stay true to our vision, we do want to impact the entire patient journey for our patients. In order to do that, right now we are in the screening and diagnostics space. We soon have in our pipeline to get into therapy and long-term monitoring as well, in order to truly bring healthcare home. We recently also announced a partnership with the German microchip manufacturer Infineon, wherein we will also be providing health analytics based on radar to various home devices available, smart devices, available at home. In just a period of in a few short months, we have been able to create Switzerland's largest digital sleep lab, and we are now bringing that success to India and to Germany, much larger cohorts of markets. In India, there's approximately 60 lakh individuals who suffer from sleep apnea, unaware, undiagnosed, and at severe risk health. This is what we're looking to change. I want to take some time to provide 2 customer stories to really help exemplify the impact that we have been able to create in just a period of about 9 to 10 months since we've commercialized. The first is the first instance that you see. We had a patient that came to us and mentioned, "My wife said I snore and she wants me to do something about it. I feel fine." Once the patient underwent our testing, it turned out that the patient had moderate sleep apnea. Now, moderate and severe sleep apnea are the 2 highest classification of the disorder, which, if untreated, can lead to other life-threatening consequences. So after doing the test with Sleepiz, this patient was able to debunk his theory and ensure that he got the help that he needed in time to lead a healthier life. Another patient, not mentioned on the screen, was actually a senior citizen that we did a screening for last year. To our surprise, that same patient called us just a few months ago. When we finished the screening for the patient, it turned out he had severe sleep apnea. He called us to let us know of the progress he had made with the therapy option he had chosen from the doctor we connected him to. He just wanted to call us, let us know of the progress, and thank him for finding this out for him in time, which exemplified the trust that that patient placed in us for helping diagnose him with the disorder. These are just maybe a few different customer stories. In the last few months, we have been able to impact thousands of lives in 3 different geographies. To conclude, I'd like to mention that the American Sleep Association recently has now added sleep to its cardiovascular health checklist. So now sleep is finally a part of the 8 other factors that can be modified in order to improve your health. In order to make our cities smarter, it's important for us to really shift the paradigm from reactive care to proactive care. And in order to also do this, we do believe that the future of healthcare is at home. It's when support knocks on your door before you even know that you need it. Because after all, the healthier our cities are, the healthier the intellectual capital will be in those cities. For those of you who did raise your hands at the beginning, I'm sitting in the back, please come and find me. I hope you do come, spread our mission and vision. Join us on this journey to change the relationship that Indians have with their sleep and with their health. Thank you.